How does art help us understand the lives of people from other times, places, and cultures? How does art making help us recognize our feelings? How can making art help us feel more calm? How can art making help us imagine a different world? I'd like to introduce you to Martin Ramirez. He was born in Mexico in 1895, and then he left in 1925 to come to the United States and work on the railroad. Working on the railroad at that time was a good way to earn an income that you could send to your family back home in Mexico. Unfortunately, hard times fell on Martin Ramirez by 1930, and he lost his job, and he ended up becoming homeless. While he was still unable to speak good English, he was picked up and taken to a hospital. The people there believed that he might have a mental illness called schizophrenia because he wasn't talking. And there he stayed at the hospital for the last 30 years of his life. While he was there in these hard conditions, he found scrap paper, paper bags, even paper from examination tables and old paper cuts. And he was able to glue them together with a mixture of his own saliva and potato starch or flour. He was able to make really large sheets of paper this way, and then he would use crayons or pencils to draw these really detailed works of art. Take your time and look very closely at his art. You'll see some repeating ideas. You'll see lots of these undulating contour lines. You'll see a lot of trains entering and exiting tunnels, wrapping their way around landforms. There's lots of little interesting architectural details, lines of all kinds, straight, curved, thick, and thin. You may also see things that look like stages or performance areas. And you'll see other transportation like cars and vans. We can also see his roots in Mexican folk tradition with the stylized animals he puts into his pictures. I'm very happy to say that the hospital staff saved a lot of his art and even sent it to his family, although there were some times when they did not save his art. When they thought it might have some tuberculosis germs, they burnt it instead. So what we still have today is really amazing to look at. Make sure you look very closely. Eventually, he really was recognized for his talent when an art professor came to visit. I hope that we can all be better at supporting those who are in hard circumstances but continue to show us their amazing art. This is a teacher example of a way you can be inspired to create some art just like Martin Ramirez. And here, some students used those same undulating contour lines to show landforms, and they used shapes to build in their trains going from tunnel to tunnel. I would like you to take your inspiration from Martin Ramirez and make your own picture. Maybe you can make something that this reminded you of. You can use shapes to create trains, animals. You can show a cave-like system of entrances and exits. You can show trains going and coming through different tunnels and tubes, or other things passing through twisting turns and different kinds of architecture. But most importantly, I would like for you to use those calm, slow line repetitions to see if you can capture that same sense of calm that he might have gotten when he created art. So here are my tips to dive right into your own imagination. 1, try making animals with very simple shapes. I always start with an oval and then add maybe a simple circle or head shape, and then add the feet and other details. 2, when you're drawing a landscape, you can start with the tunnels. I make these little doorway shapes with a line and a curve, and then I create big curves over the top of those tunnels, And from there, I can fill in my slow but fun contour lines. And tip 3, you can draw tracks or roads coming out of your tunnels by extending lines straight off the corners. And then my 4th and final tip is to definitely try drawing a train. You can use simple shapes like rectangles and circles and ovals to draw the engine of a train, and then rectangles to draw the rest of the train. Have fun making your imaginative and calming art.